Well, good morning and welcome to 755 Live, about 5 minutes of what Jesus said. We are at Ironworks Coffee here in downtown Weatherford. We gather here for prayer time Tuesday through Friday from 6:30 until 8. Everyone's welcome. Would just encourage you to be a part of that. Also, you can find a different command of Jesus at our weekday Bible plan and some helpful resources there so we can read the Bible together and learn to make disciples. As Jesus said, he told us to make disciples, teaching them to obey all the things that I commanded you. And so these Jesus said segments are just soundbite versions of the commands, teachings, and example of Jesus so that we can put them into practice. It's not a philosophy, it's a lifestyle. And so today's Jesus said is invite the needy to dinner. This comes from Luke 14, and we're going to read from verses 12 through 14. But first I want to set a little context here. The first verse of Luke 14 says, "One Sabbath day, Jesus went to eat dinner at the home of a leader of the Pharisees, and the people were watching him closely." Now, in our culture, we don't fully understand, what a Sabbath gathering would have been like back in the first century. If you've seen the series The Chosen, you've seen how that they did Sabbath and how it was such a big deal. There was a lot of preparation, a lot of ritual. It was a fancy gathering. And in verse 7 of Luke 14, everyone was trying to get the good seats, the seats of honor at this Sabbath gathering. And Jesus gave this teaching in response to the people trying to get the best seats at the table. Luke 14, 12 through 14. Then he turned to his host, and this is what he said. "When you put on a luncheon or a banquet," he said, "don't invite your friends, brothers, relatives, and rich neighbors, for they will invite you back, and that will be your only reward. Instead, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Then at the resurrection of the righteous, God will reward you for inviting those who could not repay you." So when you put on a luncheon or banquet, understand in context, this was a weekly worship experience. This was a private party, and it was an honor just to be invited. But Jesus said, don't have private parties just for insiders. Don't just invite those who can invite you back. Invite the needy, those who don't fit in, those who can't pay you back for your generosity. Instead, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. That's where the heavenly reward is. Private parties among those who are like us and those who can help us, they make us feel good, but that's it. That's the only reward we get. It's a very temporary thing. But when we invite the needy to dinner, the rewards are eternal. And often we treat this command like it's optional. But Jesus didn't say every once in a while when you put on an event. He said when. One of the core values of our church is we are all about people. Everything is an outreach. Everyone has a place. Everything is an outreach. Invite the needy to dinner. And yeah, we've done a couple of community meals. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the Thanksgiving meal this year, but we have some plans later on to do something. We've helped some homeless ministries. We've helped some missionaries overseas. But this command isn't about special events or ministry endeavors. It's about a lifestyle of hospitality. Welcoming guests, welcoming those who can't repay you. We talk a lot about a guest mentality rather than a visitor mentality. What does that mean? Well, you prepare for, you expect guests. Visitors just show up. Are we ready for guests? Are we prepared for them? Are we inviting and expecting them? If someone important was going to be a dinner guest in our home, well, we would clean things up, put out the good dishes, and or maybe the brand name paper plates, right? We would do our best to make a good impression. Jesus said when we do good for the needy, we are actually doing it for him. That means that Jesus literally could show up at any of our events. He might be represented by someone poor, crippled, lame, blind, someone hurting, broken. That's Jesus. That's what he said. Shouldn't guests be the VIPs? Shouldn't that be our focus? I was challenged by this today. Who am I inviting? Who am I expecting? Who am I welcoming to my little private parties? Jesus said, invite the needy to dinner. Who can we invite to the best seats at the table today? That's what Jesus said. How can we put that into action? Thank you for watching. If this is meaningful to you, it really helps and is an encouragement. If you like it, if you share it, if you comment. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Kelly, for checking in today. Have a blessed day, and let's do what Jesus said.